Okay, I just changed the category, so that's fine. Get this hair on my face. Can I see my chat? Obviously not. Let's chat. There we go. Okay. We're drinking the fruit twisty today. Why did I get this one instead of the sugar-free one? Oh, I know, because I went to the corner shop instead of going to the actual shop. Hello to me. From me to you. To me to you. Right, let's move this over here. Oh, not that over there. I want to move this over here. Hello, hello. Welcome to the Streamerino. We're going to go through more of the Lib Dem Manifesto today. We've taken a fuck ton of notes, as you can see. I'm probably not going to be as precise with the notes. One, because as far as we know, we've kind of gone through a lot of what's already been up here, in here. There's been some notable things to take note of. There's been some things to take note of. But overall, we're just gonna... Overall, it's been mostly repeating itself. That's what I mean. Trying to think of what things to really mention about Lib Dem policies that have been significant for me. I'm changing my mind. I was going to go for green originally, but I think I'm more tempted about Lib Dem, and I can go through a little bit of why as well. Look at this. Actually, I'm going to check the stream real quick. Just before we carry on. Oh, I hate this. I don't like this YouTube studio view. Let's see the latest video. Okay, cool. That's working as intended. So, as you can see, Lib Dems are pretty high. In fact, let's just grab everyone. This is for women for some reason. Okay, let's just do all adults. So here's all the parties. The most significant thing is this battle over here. I don't think the Tories can deny it anymore. They are neck and neck in the polling. Like, I think Reform is just 1 point below the Tories. At this point, I feel like it's going to be an absolute shit show for the Tories. Their vote is going to be split so harshly by Reform that it might actually screw them. And frankly, the fact that they're this neck and neck kind of proves Farage right for some people, at least, that it is actually about who's going to be next. And if anything, people would love to see Reform take over the Tories. I think people who are Tory now would love to just see the Conservatives fall to the ground for this. It would be incredibly embarrassing if the opposition ended up being Reform rather than the Conservatives. That being said, I still don't think it's likely. Just because you're winning popular-wise doesn't necessarily mean you're winning in the seats that matter. It might be that in some areas there's a genuine boost of Reform seats. Let's take Lib Dems, for example. Lib Dems are also right up here and very, very close. But from what people have said, it seems like Lib Dems will possibly take 40 seats or so. And if anything, Lib Dem is going to be taking seats from Labour probably more than the Conservatives. Although Lib Dem does well on a centre ground, even though nowadays I wouldn't call Lib Dems a centre ground. I'd call them a very like an alternative Labour, really. Um, and of course, with Lib Dems being this high, someone had to come down. So you can see that Labour's pretty much gone down. So let's see, back here, 46%, and they've gone down to 38%. So that's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 points down. Why did I take a while? And now it's gone from 8% with Lib Dems to 11%. Actually, not as significant. So do you think, are some of these people from Labour? How's the S&P looking? S&P just keeps going down and down. A bit of an increase with plaid. I'm going to call them plaid. It's probably plaid. Greens, not really moving anywhere. So these are the main races that really matter. Frankly, I don't think green actually matters at this point. I don't think green's going to get any more. It seems like from when we looked into the manifesto ourselves, that Lib Dem is more or less going to be like green, but with more sensible policy. And I don't mean that in a harsh way, but like I don't know how sensible policy Green's going to have because they haven't released their own manifesto yet. Although they do have an updated wiki page, which is good, but I don't know what their policy is as of yet. But Greens are still strong, but I feel like they might win in Bristol Central, for example. But outside of there, I don't know where else they're going to win. So at best, I see them getting 2 seats, considering they're co-leaders with other people. Lib Dems, I see maybe getting 30 or 40 seats. I'm going to say these now so that I can keep that in mind. So I think Lib Dems at this rate are probably going to get about 30 seats. I think Reform is probably going to get... In fact, let's write this down into thingy as well. Let's go with predictions. Predictions. As of, let's go 11 of the 06, 24. Actually, I don't even know, how can I make a prediction? Let's see, how many seats in House of Commons? I used to remember this off by heart, but it's been a while. 650. 650, so you need at least half of those. I can imagine Labour being up 50 seats. So what's 650 divided by 2? So 375 for Labour. And then let's go. If we're to believe the polling, they've got 20%. What's 20% of 600 and whatever? That's about 20. 130. I'm going to be honest, I can see them going down even more than that. I think they're going to get 110. Conservatives. Lib Dems, I think they're going to get like 35. Lib Dems. So what does that add up to? 375 plus 110 plus 35. Still got Scottish people. They may get like 10 seats. 10 seats for S&P. was this? They're about as bad. So I've never even. I think they're going to get like 3 seats. And then green. So green will get 1 seat. I think there's going to be at least 1 independent, and that's Jeremy. So I don't see Jeremy leaving. So if we add that up so far, 10 plus 3 plus 1 plus 1. God, that still leaves. Yeah, that's 335. How many more do we need? 650 minus 3 minus 535. So we need 115 left. There's 155 left that I need to predict. How much did Conservatives have? How many seats did Conservatives win in 1980? Oh, correct. Sure. Ask ChatGPT this. I'm hoping this would be quick, but hey. How many did Chris win in 2019? How many did, is it Gordon Brown? Okay, not Gordon Brown. Who am I thinking of? Who's the Labour guy? Who was the Labour guy who made new form in the 90s? How many seats did they win? Oh, Tony Blair winning 418 seats. Okay, maybe there is a lot more that's going to go to Labour then. I don't think they're going to win as much. I think 410 then. Maybe that's a bold prediction. 410. How much is that an increase of? 75, 25, 35 that I put there. So minus 35. 80 more seats. Maybe another 10 goes to Lib Dems then. So that puts it to 70. And then another 20 goes to the Conservative. I can only really. Oh yeah, I haven't put Reform here yet. Reform's at least going to get 1. I think I could see Reform getting. Oh, when am I bold enough to say 20? I think so. I think 20 maybe goes to them. Another 10 goes to the Lib Dems. And then we've still got 40 seats. Let's say 5 more go. 5 in total go independent. So that leaves 36 seats. Let's say S&P, although they're not super popular, they actually get a few more seats than expected. So maybe that's more like 26. and the remaining will be split between Tory and that. So I think like 136. Yeah, I could see that. Add this up, please. Just want to make sure that this is add up properly. 640. Screw it. Another 10 for them. No, another 5. Oh, another 5 for reform, and another 5 for Lib Dems. Add this. I'm just making sure it adds up. I don't know if I've messed up or not. Is that the amount is there? Okay. That is going to be my prediction. I don't know if it's accurate or not. I'm literally just going off my gut feeling. But I don't see Labour winning as many as before, but I don't see Tories winning that much either. I think I can see a lot of Conservative and Reform splitting. I don't see Reform getting that many seats. Let's put this in order of amount. In fact, let's see how many independents won in 2019 election. 3 independents, so I don't think 5 is too crazy. How many did each party win? Just give a list like mine. So yeah, so last time Scottish Nationalists got 50 seats. Liberal Democrats got 11. God, so it would be a huge boost up if they managed to win. I don't know who Sinn Féin is. There is actually a couple of random parties that I don't recognise. So it might be that that's what ends up happening. I'm going to give you an extra 2. I'm going to remove those extra 2 from thingy, so there you go. That's my final prediction. I'm done. I don't know why I've spent time predicting. Let's just read the goddamn thing already. Okay. On to climate change and energy. I'm going to move the notes back to the other screen as I have before. I remember when it took me, it felt like forever when I was doing these streams, and now 20 minutes just goes like that. I don't know. Don't know how to feel about that. Okay. Climate change is an existential threat. Soaring temperatures leading to wildfires, floods, droughts, and rising sea levels are affecting millions of people directly and billions through falling food production and rising prices. Urgent action is needed in the UK and around the world to achieve net zero and avert catastrophe. Yeah. Okay, let's just go into the bullet points. Make homes warmer and cheaper to heat with a 10-year emergency upgrade program, starting with free installation heat pumps for those on low incomes, and ensure that all new homes are zero carbon. 10-year emergency. Let's just do this. 10-year emergency upgrade program. So what about those with good income? How much would they pay? Drive a rooftop solar revolution by expanding incentives for household to install solar panels. Expand incentives for solar panel roofs, including a guaranteed fair price for electricity sold back to the grid. And fair price for electricity sold back into the grid, which is pretty cool. I mean, that's a thing in general, I'm pretty sure. But what is this fair price, and how does it differ from before? Normally, if you have a solar panel installed onto your roof, after you've paid it off, assuming that you got it on a loan, but after you've paid it off, the electricity that's sold back into the grid, you get money for it. So you actually get money for having electricity, not less money. So that's quite cool. Invest in renewable power so that 90% of the UK's electricity is generated from renewables by 2030. 90% renewable power by 2030. Isn't this less ambitious than Labour? I'm pretty sure that is not as ambitious as Labour wants to. I think Labour literally just wants to get us to net zero by 2030, if I remember rightly. Can't seem to spell ambitious. Ambitious. It's just a thing to help me type. Right, ambitious. Appoint a chief secretary for sustainability in the Treasury to ensure that the economy is sustainable, resource efficient, and zero carbon. Establish a new net zero delivery authority to coordinate action across government departments and work with devolved administrations, and hand more power and resources to local councils for local net zero strategies. That's quite cool. And power to local councils to get net zero. Strat. This is big. This is big as it means local action, e.g. protests, or not protests, but like protests or I'm trying to think of the word. Essentially, it would mean that you could go out there as you can go out to your local council and say, hey, you got to do more for net zero. More power to the people to get through net zero in local communities. That'd be huge. That'd be absolutely huge if that could happen. Chief Secretary for Sustainability in Treasury to make economy sustainable and net zero. Net zero delivery authority to coordinate action. I don't know what, I still don't really know what this authority is. Cross government department. This is a big part though. Anyway, moving on. Establish national and local citizen assemblies to give people real involvement in the decisions needed to tackle climate change. Establish national and local citizen assemblies. Oh, I remember what this is. I swear this already exists, but I'm all for it. I think we need to give more power to local assemblies, frankly, but I don't know if that's going to be a case right now. Restore the UK's role as a global leader on climate change. I'm just going to write that down. International development spending 6.7% national income. I don't know what that means. What's national income? Okay. In addition, we will meeting the UK's commitment under the Paris Agreement to reduce emissions. Okay. Also, yeah, I mean that's basically nothing. Okay. I think everyone in the UK wants to follow Paris agreements other than reform. Require a national infrastructure commission to fully take account of, yeah, okay. Putting tackling climate change at the heart of the new industrial strategy, okay. Investing in education and training to equip people with the skills needed for low carbon economy of the future. I don't know what does that mean? Invest in education to equip people with skills needed for low carbon econ. Okay. Ensure that nature-based solutions, including tree planting, form a critical part of the UK strategy to tackle climate change, as set out in Chapter 12. I will say this now. Tree planting isn't really going to do much to help the environment. The issue isn't the fact that we cutting down trees is an issue in itself, but the problem is that we're cutting down trees and then burning them into the atmosphere. That's the issue. Adding what the trees do is that the trees will absorb that carbon, but then when they die, they're going to just release that carbon again into the atmosphere. The problem is we keep taking oil out of the ground and then pumping it into the air. That's the issue. Really, we need more techniques of how to get that carbon back out of the air and back into the ground. But that's going to be a very long-term thing. Essentially, it's going to be probably the decisions made now are probably going to shape the 22nd century. In the 22nd century, is probably going to be all about how to get the carbon back out of the air. Right now, we're just trying to make sure we stop putting shit in the air in the first place. Putting our farmers and food system on environmentally sustainable footing. Okay, making it cheaper to and easier to switch to electric vehicles, restoring the requirement that every new car and van sold by 2030. Okay, that's cool. Make it cheaper. I don't know what that means. And easier. I'm just going to say making it cheaper to switch to EVs. And restoring. The 2030 goal of 0 emission. I can't spell vehicles either. Vehicles. I don't know why don't I just say it? Just let it type for me. Coordinating an action across the UK by creating a joint climate council. Okay. Okay. Set up in chapter 20. I guess I'll wait for that. Energy bills and emissions, end fuel poverty by launching an emergency home energy upgrade program with free installation heat pumps for local housing cold. Yep, we just talked about that. And a central role for local authorities to deliver this program. Yep. Providing incentives for installing heat pumps that cover the real costs. A couple of real costs. Immediately requiring all new homes and non-domestic buildings to be built to a net zero to be built to zero carbon standards, including being fitted with solar panels, and progressively increasing standards for technology as in technology improves. Interesting. So every house has to have a solar panel. Every new house needs solar panels. Okay. Reintroducing requirements for landlords to upgrade to energy efficiency of their properties. Landlords need to upgrade to energy efficiency. 2028. Introducing a new subsidy energy saving home scheme with pilots to find the most effective combination of tax incentives, loans, and grants. Okay. Sure. Introducing a social tariff for the most vulnerable and provide targeted energy discounts for vulnerable households. Okay. Helping people with the with the cost of living crisis and their energy bills by implementing proper one-off windfall tax. I don't know what. So what's proper? Because right now, what were they being taxed? It was like 30 something percent. So what's proper? Decoupling energy prices from the wholesale gas prices. Okay. Eliminate unfair. Okay. Accelerate the deployment of renewable energies. Removing the Conservatives' unnecessary restrictions on solar and wind power. And support investments Okay. What do they mean by unnecessary? Because the thing is, it could be that the Tories are doing this for the kicks, right? Like it could be that they are seriously restricting green energy, but I don't know why they would do it. Maintain the ban on fracking and introduce a ban on new coal mines. Ban coal mines. Ban fracking. Good. Yeah. Surely, if this is unnecessary, then why are they doing it? It just doesn't make sense. Like I don't know why they would restrict it. They could just be being dicks. It could be that they made restrictions because of the coal mines. It wouldn't surprise me if there's actually a reason for them to block it. Building the grid infrastructure required. Yep. Implementing UK's G7 pledge to end fossil fuel subsidies, ensuring a just transition that values the skills and experience of the people working in oil and gas, providing good opportunities for them, and takes special care of the regions and communities most affected. Ensuring oil and gas workers are provided opportunities. I don't know what that means as well. Does that mean they're going to go into green energy? Will they be given training for green energy, or are they just going to be left out in the dust and just given a paycheck by the government to say, look, you don't need to work anymore? Investing in energy storage, including green hydrogen, pumped storage, and battery capability. Okay. It basically just means investing in green stuff, working together with our European neighbours to build a sustainable supply chain. Yep. Building more energy. I feel like I can just condense this into we're going to be doing green shit. Giving us small carbon generators, requiring a large energy suppliers, reduce access costs to grid connections. There's not a lot of numbers here. Okay, here we go. Restoring international development. Oh, no, we've already done that. Showing leaders. Yep. Okay. Arguing for greater global ambition for Paris Climate Agreement. Okay. Continuing the UK support for UN, blah, blah, blah. Pressing to all OECD countries to end subsidies for foreign fossil fuel projects. Hold businesses to account. God, there's a lot here. Introducing a general duty, careful environment requiring all large companies listed in a UK stock exchange to set targets consistent with achieving net zero goals. To report on their progress. Require stock exchange companies set targets for net zero goals and provide progress. Could you imagine an oil company getting that? It's like, we're not getting anywhere with net zero. Regulating financial companies to encourage climate-friendly investments, okay. Including requiring pension funds and managers that show, oh, interesting. requiring that financial services provide pension funds that are consistent with Paris Agreement and to give regulators power to act if banks are not managing climate risk properly. Big. That's pretty good. Support British industry to cut emissions by blah 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 blah. God, there's so much. Right. Sorry, I'm not getting bored. I'm just so fucking much information. That's just one of them. We're about an hour in. At this rate, I feel like what I might do is just read and just only be allowed to write down like 10 points. That's not good. Give me a sec. I need a more efficient way of reading all of these before my head explodes. Okay. Give everyone the right to see a GP within 7 days or within 24 hours. I know I should read this, but I can't bother. Give everyone the right to see a GP within 7 days or within 24 hours if they urgently need to, with 8,000 more GPs to deliver it. Everyone the right to see a GP within 7 days or if urgent 24 hours with 8,000 GPs. How would you pay for all of these? How much is a GP on average? How much is a GP in the UK on average? I'm gonna guess 40 grand. Oh god. Oh sorry, I'm meaning GPs, not like nurses. The average salary ranges from 60,000 to 100,000. Newly qualified start at the lower end of this range. I can't believe that you think that you can hire 8,000 more GPs while we can't even pay the current GPs we have enough. Let's say 60 grand at the minimum. 6,000 times, well, let's say 75. 2, 3. Hmm. $500 million. Actually, if you think about it, $500 million isn't that much. But when I say it isn't that much, by the way, I'm meaning in reference to, in perspective to the world, and in perspective to the UK, $500 million isn't actually that much. Guarantee access to an NHS dentist for every needing urgent dental desserts. What? Okay. Okay. Improve early access to mental health services by establishing mental health hubs. Mental health hubs for young people. Boost cancer survival rates and introduce a guarantee for 100% of patients to start cancer care within 64 days. 62 days, sorry. And why such a specific number? Help people find 5 more years of their lives. Okay. Increase life expectancy. Give everyone the right to see a GP. Yep, we already said that. Increase the number half by boosting recruitments and half from retaining more experienced GPs. Wait. Increase the number of full-time equivalent GPs by 8,000, half by boosting recruitments and half from retaining more experienced GPs. Doesn't that mean that you're not going to boost it by 8,000, you're going to boost it by 4,000? But you're just going to try and make sure that you keep everyone else in. Doesn't that just mean you'll boost by 4,000? But okay. I feel like if you said 4,000, people probably wouldn't have been offended. Giving everyone 70 plus and everyone with long-term health conditions access to a named GP. I don't think I need to write that down. Freeing up GPs' time by giving more prescribing rights and public health advisory. Yep. Introducing a universal 24/7 GP booking system. That's quite cool. Remove the top-down bureaucracy. Establish a strategic small surgeries fund. Sustain, yep. Bringing dentists back to the NHS from the private sector by fixing the broken dental contracts and using flexible. So bring NHS dentists back private sector. That's just that in general. Introduce an emergency scheme to guarantee access to free NHS dental checkups for those already eligible or those in low income. Okay. Guarantee appointments for those who need a dental checkup. Guaranteeing appointments for all those who need a dental checkup. Okay. Take action to prevent tooth decay by providing supervised toothbrushing sessions for children in nurseries and school. Interesting. Toothbrushing lessons in nursery? Sure. Scrapping VAT on children's toothbrushes and toothpaste. Why just children's? Why not just everyone's? Oh, children's toothbrushes, comma, and toothpaste, I think. I don't think it's children's toothpaste. I don't, because always everyone will just buy children's toothbrushes and toothpaste. Why would you? Yeah, anyway. Working towards a fairer and more sustainable long-term funding model for pharmacies. Yep. More sustainable long-term funding model for pharmacies and build a pharmacy-first approach to give patients more accessible routes and ease the pressure from GPs. Okay. Pharmacy first approach to give patients more accessible routes to ease GPs. Improve early access to mental health services by open walk-in hubs for children and young people in every community, offer regular mental health checkups and key points, putting a dedicated qualified mental professional in every school, ending out of area mental health placements, extending young people's mental health services up to the end age, extending young people's mental health services up to the age of 25 to end the drop-off experience by young people transitioning to adult service. Interesting. Increasing access to clinically effective talking therapies, taking an evidence-led approach to preventing and treating eating disorders and challenging damage stigma about weight. Okay. Making prescriptions for people with chronic mental health conditions free on NHS. Mental health care. Yeah, I already done mental health hubs. Mental prescriptions for chronic mental health conditions free to NHS. Transforming mental health support for those who are pregnant. Yep. Tackling stigma. Not, of course, it's important. That helps, but yeah. Tackling stigma through continued support of the public education, including time to talk. Tackling stigma through continued support of public education, including time to talk. Okay. Reduce stigma. Reduce mental health stigma. Cutting suicide rates with a focus on community suicide prevention. Recognize the relationships between mental health and debt. Okay. Modernize mental health. Yeah, there's a lot of here. Boost cancer survival rates. Introduce this. Replace aging radiotherapy machines and increase their number so no one is too far to travel from treatment. Recruit more cancer nurses. Passing Cancer Survival Research Act requiring the government to coordinate and ensure funding for research into cancers with the lowest survival rates. Okay. That's probably the first time they've actually mentioned an act. We're only on page 39, people. Okay, halving the time for new treatments to reach patients by expanding mental health. Yeah. Increase public health grant. Blah, blah, blah. Establish a health creation unit. Yeah. Introduce regulations to halt the dangerous use of vape by children. Introduce regulations to halt. Introduce regulations to halt the dangerous use of vapes by children while recognizing their role by banning single-use vapes. Improve access to blood pressure tablets. Introduce a new levy on tobacco company profits to help fund healthcare. And okay. New levy on tobacco profits to help fund healthcare and smoking satiation services. Protect children from exposure to junk food. Restrict outdoor advertising and restrict TV advertising. Okay. Yep, that makes more sense. I remember walking. I lived near two different schools, and literally there's a McDonald's ad when you go near one of the shops. So yeah, it makes sense that they would ban something like that. Extend the soft drink levy to juice-based and milk-based drinks that are high in added sugar. Oh, that's a shame. I do agree with it, but it's a shame. Tackling air pollution and poor quality with the Clean Air Act. Okay. Oh my god, there's so much. It's good. But Jesus, there's so much. Have we had any comments? No, not yet. Alright. Train and recruit the recruit and retain the doctor, nurses, and NHS staff we need by including establishing a properly independent pay body review body, retaining more staff across the NHS through a 10-year retention plan, making flexible working a day one right, expanding expanding access to flexible, affordable childcare. Interesting. Fixing the work visa system. Is this still on health? Okay. Fixing the work visa system and exempting NHS and care workers from immigration skill charges. Okay. Ending the false economy of spending money on agency workers and encouraging the use of flexible staff banks. Fix life-threatening. Ending excessive handover. Yeah. At this point, implement a 10-year plan to invest in hospitals. Implement recommendations. Introduce truly independent complaint and procedures and transparent monitoring of sexual abuse. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. So introduce an uh, independent group for monitoring sexual misconduct in the NHS. That's good. end the General Medical Council's 5-year rule, which prevents patients raising complaints related to matters more than 5 years old. Interesting. That's good. Okay, so replacing old computers, replacing old IT systems, ensuring every care setting has electronic records that can feed into the patient's health records and patient's consent. Okay, expanding virtual wards and investing in new technologies that free up staff time and allow people to be treated closer to home. I didn't know that was a thing. Expanding virtual wards. Improve faster access to novel machines, novel medicines and medical devices by seeking a comprehensive mutual recognition agreement with the European Medical Agency. Okay. Combat the harms of drugs by moving the department led on drug policy from the Home Office to the Department of Health and Social Care. Okay. From the Home Office. Is Home Office normally to do with like jails and stuff? So yeah, that's interesting. Investing more in addiction services to help drug users. Investing in addiction services and support for drug users, including young. Freeing up police time, reducing court backlogs, tackling prisons overcrowding, and reducing harms of drug misuse by diverting people's arrests from possession of drugs for personal use into treatment where appropriate. Okay, so that's effectively decriminalizing it. Let's just write decriminalize drugs. Decriminalize. How do I write this? Freeing up police time. Freeing up police time. Police don't arrest based on possession anymore. Just dealing. Protecting young people, tackling criminal gangs, and taking skunk off the streets by introducing legal, regulated markets of cannabis. Legalize weed. Treating Scotland's drug deaths crisis as a public emergency. And devolving powers for tailored solutions when necessary, providing fair funding deals for hospice and blah blah blah. Okay. Right at the bottom, legalize weed. Hey, what can you do? We will introduce, so this is for care. How much more do I care about this? Well, we've got 5 here. This isn't a big paragraph, so we'll get through care pretty quickly. Care. Introduce free personal care based on the model introduced by Liberal Democrats in 2002. So that provisions are based on need, not ability to pay. Create a social care plan. Introducing a higher blah 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 minimum wage. Establish cross-party commission for Forge. Give unpaid carers a fair deal. So there's support. Develop a digital strategy to enable carers to live tech-enabled lives. I don't know how much I care about it. Okay. There is so much that I'm writing. So, as you can see here, this is how much I've written so far about it all. I'm thinking at this point, we just read through it, and then what we remember, we'll write down a bullet point for. Put a dedicated, qualified mental health professional in each place. We've already done that. Increase school and college funding per pupil above the rate of inflation every year. Match school and college funding with inflation. And building schools. Introduce a tutoring guarantee for every disadvantaged pupil who needs extra support. Okay. Invest in high quality early years education and close the attainment gap. Disadvantaged people, yep. Retrain maintenance grants for disadvantaged students. Yep. Okay, creating a teacher workforce strategy to ensure that every secondary school child is taught by a specialist teacher in their subject. Okay, is that not a thing? Create a teacher workforce strategy to ensure every. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Ensure the teacher is a specialist in their subject. In secondary school. Agency urgently establish blah 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 blah. Improve the quality of vocational education. Improve education on entrepreneurship and self-employment. Strengthen career advice and links with employers. Okay. Include art subjects in the English bachelorette to give power to Ofsted demands. Basically, we support art, music, drama. Cool. I like that. Expand these activities such as sport, music, drama, debating, and coding, starting with new free entitlements for disadvantaged children. Expand sport, music, drama, debating, and coding. Debating's underrated. We need more debating classes. Yeah. Yeah. Tackle persistent absence. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. I think I'm clicking out at this point. Um, Introducing young people premiums, disadvantaged kids. Supporting science research and blah blah blah. Okay, that doesn't seem like they're doing much to help universities. Establishing and reviewing higher education. Okay. Young people. big is this one going to be? But there's just a lot here. I don't think I'm going to get through it all. How am I going to get through this all? We're about halfway through. I didn't even write anything for education. I felt like everything for education was kind of like meh, whatever. What I might do it might be easier for me to focus on a couple of other areas. You know, economy, yep. Business and jobs, yep. Climate change, yep. Health, yep, I guess so. Care, sure. Education, I do care about. I just. Housing. Maybe for now. So much, there's so much. How can I get this done? I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop the stream for now. Next time, I'm probably going to read through the Tory manifesto. I'm not going to do it tomorrow because tomorrow I got D&D, but maybe starting on Thursday we can read through it. I think I need a strategy for getting through all of this manifesto stuff because there's just so much to read. I've been reading non-stop for the last hour, pretty much right from the start, and we got on halfway through it. Jesus, there's just a lot to read. So, yeah, I think I'm just going to leave it there for now, and